Hey guys, this is Crystal Polite and my lovely husband,
Dedric Polite.
And we are Be Polite. We're just coming to you guys today to answer a question that we get asked a lot in our messages, DMs, under videos. And that's basically, how do you run an effective business with your spouse without killing them? So it can be done. And we just basically came to bring you guys some guidelines, some structures, some rules, whatever you want to call it, to how to effectively run a business with your spouse. Running a business with your spouse isn't all work and no play. And to remain happily married, the two of you need to nurture your marriage as well as the business. Business concerns can easily creep into your personal time, so to prevent the business from overwhelming the marriage, a commitment to keep your marriage flame burning bright has to be a focal point of both of you. Schedule a fun time together. You want to remain a happily married couple first. So you deserve to enjoy each other's company. Couples in business together sometimes forget to schedule fun activities that have absolutely nothing to do with your business. So go out together, dinner, basketball games, football games, camping, whatever the two of you enjoy doing, that's what you should do.
The next thing, guys, is delight your partner. Do something unexpected for them. Surprise, that thoughtfulness, that goes a long way and is highly appreciated. My lovely bride and I, we periodically go out for lunch together. I'll surprise her and say, hey, we're going to a show, put on a dress, throw on those nice 5-inch heels. We're going out for a night in the town. Unexpected, just popping up just like that. So doing those things keep the fire going in your relationship.
Deep conversation. Set work aside to enjoy conversation with your spouse. The listening is as important, if not more important than the talking. So people crave to be heard. When everything else is gone, you will have nothing left between the two of you but your conversation.
Take a break. Sometimes you and your spouse need a break from each other. You're with each other 24 hours a day. So, hey, some couples, let her go out on a girls' weekend, right? Let him go on a boys' weekend. Give him that permission slip. Sometimes you need a little bit of time apart, a few hours a day here and there. And again, that makes you miss each other even more when you get back together.
Your marriage will be more resilient if you both nurture it. So these are just some tips, the odds of successfully running a business with your spouse in favor.
Yeah, put the odds in your favor.
Set the guidelines to keep things running smoothly. Then follow them to prevent strain on your relationship as you grow your business. One of the things you definitely want to do is set boundaries. Determine who is in charge of what. It's possible to be the boss at work and the partner at home. So keep in mind that your partner doesn't want to be micromanaged, because I know I don't want to be micromanaged.
Neither do I.
Remain open-minded to your partner's suggestions. When it is your area of responsibility, you have the final say, and so do they in their area.
The next one is periodically check on your commitment to the business. Sometimes we can start a business and you're all excited, but 6 months in, a year in, that fire may go away. Maybe something changed in the industry or in the niche that you're in where it makes the business not very lucrative or attractive anymore. So check in with your partner and say, hey, do we still want to do this business? Do we want to put our talents and our efforts elsewhere? Make sure you're having those regular check-ins to check the pulse on that business.
Define your roles also. Focus on each other's strengths as you define your roles. Your shared vision allows you to work independently by focusing on the skills you give to the business. Although overlapping sometimes happens, because I know I'm the visionary and he's the integrator, but at times I also can become an integrator as well. So
at times I can fill the visionary role.
Exactly. So independently, focus on the skills that you give to the business, and do your best to maintain very clear boundaries. In our business, like I said, I'm the visionary. I'm also the CMO, the CTO in our partnership and across the board in all of our businesses. I handle marketing, brand management, customer relations, HR, a ton of stuff. Dedric, he's the integrator as well as he's CEO, CFO. He in the partnership and across the board in all of our businesses. He handles acquisitions, financials, a million of other things. And in each individual business, we have multiple roles. And we have more detailed roles.
Respect and trust your partner. Respect
Yes.
and trust, because you're not always going to see eye to eye. But at the end of the day, that mutual respect is critical. Set boundaries so you reduce conflict. It's never okay to get angry at each other out of anger and just allow that to fester. You have to communicate and allow the trust to develop in your personal relationship to flow over into the business. At the end of the day, if the business goes away, the business fails, we have our relationship that's at the core of everything, and that's what's most important to us.
Absolutely. What I would also say is hold team meetings. So even if it's just the two of you, hold regularly scheduled business meetings. Have an agenda, stick to that agenda, make notes on what you covered. Scheduled meetings sets the focus for the rest of the week. My husband and I have regularly scheduled meetings, and we're not looking across the table all googly-eyed at each other. We're not trading kisses and holding hands. It is a very structured business meeting.
Yeah, we got time for that later. So how do you make tough decisions in business when you're working with your spouse?
Literally one of the hardest things to tackle in a business with your spouse. So if you are working with your spouse, then you know that one of your biggest sources of tension can be the decision-making process, because I know it is in ours. When working with your spouse, you don't always think through every detail of how you'll handle things, which can be a big problem when a major decision come up. Then the question starts piling up. Who gets the final say? How much veto power does each partner have? These are questions that will come up, and it's better to be prepared for them ahead of time.
So avoiding big problems in your business and your personal life can all come down to how you and your spouse handle not only the major decisions, but also the little day-to-day mundane decisions you have to make in business. Ideally, you want to have a plan in place from the beginning on how you're going to handle that.
Yes, so what can you do to ease the decision-making process with your spouse before the problems arrive? Well, we've come up with about 4 or 5 tips that you can do right now to set expectations for how things will go when a decision needs to be made. So, one of the first things is divide responsibilities. One big way to put a strain on your relationship and on your business is to have both partners be responsible for everything. It's extremely important to divide all the responsibilities in your business between the two of you.
Once your responsibilities are divided, then the person who's in charge of that aspect of the business can have primary decision-making power in that area. Now, this doesn't mean that one person makes the decisions in a vacuum or without consulting and getting the other person's input. Rather, this does help keep both of you from spinning your wheels.
Take the time to listen to each other's point of view. It might sound simple, but oftentimes when you're speaking to someone with a different idea than you, you're not always listening to what they say, because I know I really don't at times, and I have to take a step back. So, but most partners make the mistakes of formulating a response that will strengthen their argument. Yeah, and I'm guilty of that. So instead of listening to a response, try listening to understand. And I know my husband is guilty of that.
I do that a lot too.
Literally just listens to response, just enough to respond to me.
We all do that.
And
loading up that ammo for your comeback.
That's it.
You can't do that.
And he ain't heard a word I just said. So try listening to understand. You may come to the conclusion that the other person's decision makes more sense than yours does. or possibly that a completely different decision needs to be made altogether. Either way, if you give your spouse the courtesy of really listening, chances are they'll give you the same courtesy back.
So don't dig in your heels. And I know I'm guilty of this a lot. So while you may think that you come up with the best decision since sliced bread, it's likely that your spouse isn't gonna see it that way. Ain't that right, honey?
Yeah.
She always got a different point of view. That's why we work so well together. So when bringing a decision to the table, it's best to keep things open-minded and open-handed. What we mean by that is you don't want your decisions to be set in stone before discussing it with your spouse or your partner. Be open-minded. Now, being close-handed with your decision will lead to frustration and hurt feelings for you both. Then any hesitation from your spouse will feel like a personal attack when it isn't. You're just talking about what is the best decision for your business going forward.
Right, and you have to respect each other's decisions. So once a decision has been made, it's important to respect that. You won't always agree with all of your spouse's decisions, but once they're final, you'll need to respect it. That they believe that whatever we're doing that's best for the business is what we're gonna do. So mutual respect will keep both of you, will keep both your business and your marriage afloat, and make working with your spouse on a daily basis much, much more easier and more enjoyable. So.
And remember, guys, although it's your spouse and that's your honey and that's your boo, we are talking about a business, right? Business is not emotional.
Right, and remember, one of the biggest sources of tension can be the decision-making process.
Yeah, so remember, when we're talking business, we take the emotions out of it. I know it's hard,
right,
especially as males with egos and females with estrogen, the emotion gets in there. But remember, you're working towards the same goal. Ultimately, you want your business together. You've gotten the business together because you had a mutual goal, right? You had a vision, what you want to go towards. So when making decisions, you need to understand that you and your spouse are both trying to do what's best for the business and ultimately your family.
Right, and it's very beneficial to write down like your business goals and circle back relatively often to make sure that everything you do is with those goals in mind. This will help drive the decisions you guys make and ensure that you're both working toward the same thing. One of the things that we use is a VTO, a Vision Traction Organizer.
Basically, it's a business plan, a 2-page business plan we came up with, where we have our 3-year goal, our 1-year goal, and our quarterly rocks, which is our goals every 3 months of big items we want to check off and complete to get us towards our ultimate goal of financial freedom. And
we actually got that. We didn't come up with it, but we got it from the book Traction. If you want to check that book out by Gino Wickman.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the description below.
So ultimately, what we're saying to you guys is communication is key. It's possible that you need to step back and evaluate your communication before you can even start making decisions. It's completely normal for you to have different opinions from your spouse, but you both need to make sure you're voicing those opinions. So you need to be able to freely let your spouse know what's on your mind and vice versa.
Communication. So communication will ensure that there's no hidden agendas, everything is out on the table, right? And that will help your decision making as a team. Now, if you continue to run into the same issues over and over when you're trying to make decisions in your business, you may need to invest more time in your marriage and your relationship outside of the business. Strengthen that before you dive back into the business together. Now, it's entirely possible that some of that personal tension could be affecting your working relationship as well.
Right.
Again, we're human. We experience this from time to time, and that's when we have to take a step back and focus on us and our relationship. And again, the stronger our relationship is, the stronger our business will be together. So again, communication will help you identify where any breakdowns are and help you get back on track.
And make a firm business decision when working with your spouse is an extremely rewarding experience. So especially if you're able to put aside your differences and come to an agreement quickly. So let us also know in the comments what you and your spouse do to keep decision making a peaceful and productive process. So as as a couple, you may enjoy the free flow of minds that brought you guys together. So I know me and my husband, this is what brought us together when we first met, just our ability to bounce ideas off of each other within moments of meeting each other. But your business requires guidelines and protocol when you are on business time. So as entrepreneurs with so much responsibility, it's easy to blur the lines, and being clear about your business roles and how the business works then allows you to take a break and enjoy the personal time together. Running a business with your spouse isn't all work and no play.
The balancing act that impacts the bottom line. Create a business partnership where you both thrive. Happily married couples know that their relationship requires constant attention. They're not willing to sacrifice their marriage for the sake of their business. Absolutely not.
No.
So growing your business is gonna be full of challenges, right? If it was easy to build a business with your spouse, everybody would be doing it.
Right.
Focus, boundaries, and attention is gonna enrich your partnership.
Absolutely.
And nurture your business. So couples in business together who follow these guidelines, you're gonna grow together instead of growing apart.
Thank you guys for watching our video. We hope we brought you a ton of value and a ton of useful information.
Stay tuned, guys. Make sure you like the video if you got some value out of it. Hit that subscribe button, and we're gonna keep putting out more valuable content like this for all of you guys out there.
Absolutely. Let us know what other videos you guys would like and what other information you'd like to receive from us, and we'll definitely make sure that we read the comments and we send you as much content your way.
And make sure, if you're a couple in business, request to join our private Facebook group.
Absolutely. It's called the CoPreneur, CoPreneur on Facebook. The CoPreneur, and it's for couples and entrepreneurship. And 2020, it is going to be lit, okay? I have some amazing things in store for all the couples in this group. We're gonna be, literally packing them with a ton of content. We want everyone out here winning, and we want entire generations changed. We want to change the trajectory of a lot of people's family trees. So we're going to start with this group. Thank you. We appreciate you guys. And remember, it costs nothing to be polite.